Hey, what's going on everybody? This should be a simple video. Basically, in this beautiful box right here, and there you see the graph for it as well, is the new StarField 2. Now, I had the StarField 1 starting out. There were like a couple of Moondrops that I started with right after. When I started with the KZs, and then I was like, oh, I want to try something more fancier and stuff. So I had gotten the A8, the Blessing 2, I just recently had not too long ago, the Blessing 3. What else did I have at the time? At the time, I had the Canas Pro, I think it was, and of course the Kato, and the StarField was one that I had, and I never got to listen to it. I had bought it. I had it in the box. I took the box with me because it was delivered when I was going out the door. I put it in my bag, and somebody stole my bag. So I never got to listen to the StarField, and there was also something else in that bag. Oh yeah, my Deconi Blues were in that bag at the time. That was horrible to have that stuff taken. That was when I was going to the gym. So anyway, you get this nice pouch here, and it is felt lined. You get these interesting tips, and of course you get the unit and the cable. And here's the unit and the cable. This is a nice cable, by the way. It says Moondrop right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like got brass ended, nice thickness to it. Getting over to the fittings here, the slider is still brass, and even the connectors, the 2-pin connectors, which go with the brass right there, the little face. It's got a little face there. Anyway, this is brass, and I'm going to pop that off. So the nozzles. I'm trying to breathe through my mouth because my nose is all blocked. So there you see the nozzles, kind of small, the filter part. And that comes off, that's replaceable. They don't have tuning ones that I know of for this. It's just that little cap piece comes off. But there's the design of these overall. I think the StarField had like a sun or a comet or something, although I could be confusing them with the Stellaris, which is the planar magnetic ones that look similar in color. I haven't noticed any chipping, although I'm looking at them a little bit better now in a brighter light with that metallic purplish blue. Nope, that's not a chip either. Okay, so no chipping. So anyway, comfortable, really nice cable, nice pouch, okay ear tips. They're okay. I don't like them. They're not my favorite ear tips. They're not overly firm or mushy. They're just, I don't know. I like the original spring tips that used to come with all of them. I have the wrong notes up. So let's get into there. This one has a lithium magnesium, that sounds familiar. Alloy dome composite diaphragm. And so it's LIMG diaphragm. We just did, I was just doing the tuning on the other one there, the 500 had a lithium magnesium diaphragm. I don't know if it's the same kind. But anyway, so it's a single dynamic driver in there. And for years, I ended up being a Tangent fan, and I didn't listen to Moondrop stuff. And then I started listening to Moondrop stuff again, and I really do like their stuff, So the nozzle of the StarField consists of separate brass CNC milled components with the gold plated surface. It looks really, really pretty. Comfort wise and isolation were good. Of course, that all depends on your ears, the tips, and the shape of both your ears and the thing that you're sticking in your ears. Looking at the target, I'm not interested in any of those on my notes. It is a 0.78 2-pin connector. There is also a Bluetooth neckband, I think, made for this from Moondrop. Okay, frequency response is 12 to 24 kilohertz. Effective is 20 to 20, of course. Sensitivity is 122 decibels. Impedance is 15. So, with the impedance and the sensitivities are just really easy to drive. You could run them off your phone and they'd be fine. I like to use at least a dongle with something like this. And it comes with a 3.5 millimeter single-ended. That's kind of a downer. I would have liked balanced. And they're made out of a zinc alloy cavity with a brass nozzle. And that's basically the information on that. Moving on to my notes. So anyway, built really good. I don't know about the paint. Don't ask me about the paint. I haven't had any problems with these, and I haven't had any problems with the Stellaris so far, which has the same kind of coating. I know the original ones, there was a chippage and stuff like that. That's why I tend to like things that are wooden, all metal, or plastic with a metal faceplate, because there's just never any issues with that. But these are very beautifully painted. Anyway, there's some really good bass on these. It has a very good kind of speedy bass. There's a good punch there. You can definitely hear the response. Very good dynamics overall. And honestly, treble, I think, is very good as well. I think that the treble response is excellent. I think that it has like a decent extension to it overall. I think that it isn't as, just too much. I know the other one was just a little too bright. I think the treble rolls off kind of smooth and organic with this one. Definitely much better than the last one from what I remember. I don't know, they kind of a little kind of metallic sound to the treble, but nothing that just throws it over, because it's not overly, emphasized, the treble. It just has some really good details, and it does extend well, but it's not like really, really ear-piercing when we're talking about the extension. Getting back to the bass, I think the bass has some very good texture overall to it. I think that it sounds kind of on the natural side. Just a really rich, maybe not overly warm, but there is some nice warmth there. There's some good texture and thickness when we're talking about the bass. But I think that the bass is kind of toward maybe a couple of levels past neutral bass-wise, except for the sub bass. I think the sub bass has like a really good kind of hit to it, depending on the music that you're listening to. Now, the lower mids, very, very good. There's like the slightly warmth, like I said. I think that there's good body to them over there, and I also think that there's some really good details there, nice kind of warm, smooth details. And then you move into the upper mids. Now, the upper mids can get a little bit aggressive. They are extended. That may bother some people, but it depends on the track. If you're listening to certain musics like hip-hop and stuff like that, I think that these would be perfect. Jazz, something like that. Maybe EDM, death metal and stuff. I think it's basically when you get into like maybe female vocals and on tracks that are just a little bit more brighter, I think then that would be like a little issue. Other than that, these sound fantastic. There's some really nice soundstage overall. I think that the soundstage on this is very, very open sounding. I think that thinking about like overall staging, it does have a nice kind of width to it. I wouldn't say that it's holographic in any way, but I do think that it's pretty darn accurate, thinking about that. Vocals, by the way, are Ford. but I think that the female vocals, they just seem a little bit more forward, more so than the male vocals. I think that overall, people will either be hit or miss with this one. Because of the kind of spiciness in that mid-range treble region, it may not be for everyone. But if you don't mind a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of spiciness there, and I don't mind that at all. I've had a few that really good single dynamics that were like that, like the NF Audio's dynamics, and those are super. And I think that this one does a really good job. It's a really nice IM. If you're a fan of the original StarField but thought that there could have been some improvement, there has been some improvement with this one. Overall, just very nice looking. It's still, you can't really tell with this light, but it does have, I don't know, no, you can't really tell, but it does have that sparkly kind of purplish that looks blue, purple, depending on the angle that you're holding it at. So it's a beautiful IM. It's made very well. I would make a suggestion as to make sure that when you put this away or you put this down, just be careful, because it is a painted IM, and it will chip. I mean, I've had nice metal ones, and if you're not careful with those, they'll get all scratches all over them. So that said, I'm going to show you the chart one more time on the back here. That said, very, very nice. I love the box and the artwork on Moondrop stuff. It's not a seller for me, but I like to see it there. I wouldn't purposely buy something because it had a box that was designed a certain way. I'm more interested in what's inside the box, what accessories they give. You get minimal accessories with this, but they're good accessories. I mean, these chips are good enough. They may not be my favorite, but I'm picky. This case fits it perfectly. It doesn't move around a lot, because you definitely don't want that moving around with a painted IM. And the shape and the ergonomics on this are really good. So overall, I give it high marks, except for, people that are sensitive to that certain area. I'm trying to see. I wrote it down, but I can't find it now. But anyway, right in the area where it goes up, and that some people are sensitive to that, some people are not. If you know, when it comes to StarField and the Kato and stuff like that, how Moondrop tunes their IMs. So this is another good one, and it's a more budget-friendly one. So I like it. The cable alone looks really, really fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.